I've got the fire going, but I'll tell you what, it's got a ways to go before it warms up this cabin. Hi, I'm Matt, and this is Procrastination Garage. Welcome back. It's about 9 a.m. Wednesday morning. The truck is all loaded up. We're going to take a gamble. We're going to take the truck to our cabin in Eastern Oregon. Is that going to work? I don't know. Stay tuned, find out. We're on the road. It's about 11 a.m. Been on the road for a little over an hour, actually. If you saw my last video, you'll know this trip may be a bit of a gamble because Tow Beast here has not been the most reliable since I got it back from its turbo replacement. I had an issue last time with getting a message on the screen. It basically was a DEF thing, and it was saying that it was going to limit my speed to 50 miles an hour and 50 miles. And then it actually did limit my speed to 50 miles an hour. And I took it in, and they had done a PCM update on it for free, and that didn't fix it. So then I went back and they put in 2 NOx sensors, NOx sensors. I believe that's what they did. I don't have the paperwork back on it yet. And so they think that is the fix. So we'll see. This trip is, I don't know, it's like 150 miles each way. And if I'm limited to 50 miles an hour at any point during this trip, that's going to make for kind of a slow ride home, because it's mostly freeway speeds of 65 miles an hour. In fact, right now 75 is what we're running. So we're hoping that we don't have any problems, and I guess it's kind of a good shakedown test. So the reason we're taking the truck is, one, I think there will be snow at the cabin. I don't think there's enough snow that we can't get in, but I think there's probably more than I can get in with my little Suzuki SX4. But more importantly, we're going down to pick up a snowmobile that I'm going to make available to a friend of mine for his granddaughter this season, and so I'm going down to pick it up. So we'll see how that works out. Anyway, like I said, we are en route now, and I'll just kind of show you the way down. Made it to the cabin turnoff, and there's about as much snow here as I expected. Not much. We'll call it about a trace, really. And I think this is all fairly fresh stuff from the last couple days. We made it. Tow Beast did its thing. What's kind of interesting though, temperature up here is actually a little warmer than it was in town. It's in the low 40s, and it is windy up here. Look up in the top of the tree, see them blowing? All right, let's get a fire going. I've got the fire going, but I'll tell you what, it's got a ways to go before it warms up this cabin. It's around 7 p.m. and ever since we got here today, I've been pretty much running off of the Jackery. And part of the reason was I was dreading starting this EU 2000 because it doesn't like to run when it's cold. So here about an hour ago, I went outside to get it started up so I could make sure the Jackery was charged up for overnight, and it would not start. I pulled probably more than 50 times and couldn't get it to pop, nothing. So I do believe I brought it inside the cabin, sitting next to the wood stove here. It's been warming up. I suspect now if I take it outside that it'll fire right up. At least that's the hope. you've suffered along this far, do me a favor and please hit the like button. And please subscribe. And don't forget to tell all your friends. Let's get back to it. Thanks. It's just before 11 a.m. on Thursday morning, and we survived the night. So I didn't follow up last night, but as you can see, the generator fired right up after it had been sitting by the fire for about an hour. So temperature plays a key role with that generator, which the good news with that is that means that since I have the Jackery, when I come up here, I can bring the generator in, let it warm up, and still have power. So last night Jackery was at 95% when I went to bed. Now it's down to 28%. It was on all night. Most everything was shut off overnight, and then this morning I've had the TV on and running some other stuff, so it's down. So we're going to fire the generator up. Now I know the generator will fire up fairly easily after it's been sitting, just overnight and stuff. It doesn't matter how cold it is. So I'll fire it up and we'll get it running. See what that does for bringing the Jackery back up. It took about 4 pulls to fire the generator up, just what I expected. And as you can see, it's charging at a little over 700 watts. So that'll bring it up in probably about an hour and a half or so. It's just afternoon, so I suppose I should be productive if I'm going to be productive on this trip. I've only got today to get stuff done. So first off, let's go shut down the generator, see how the Jackery's doing. I imagine it's charged up enough. I've got everything shut off on the inside, so there's not going to be much of a draw in there, if any at all. All right, only 86%. We'll fire the generator back up this afternoon after we're done working out here. All right, the reason we came up here was to bring the little Yamaha Bravo snowmobile home. So let's open up the snowmobile shed, see how much stuff is blocking it, see if it'll start, and get it loaded. Now, I'm pretty sure it'll start. It's a pretty dependable little machine. And I don't know what I've got stacked in front of it, so it may take a few minutes or it may not. Easy peasy, mostly. It took a few more pulls to start than I thought, but you know what? It's been sitting since, I don't know, maybe last spring. All right, what else can we do? Last time we were here, we did some brush cutting down in here. I basically was cutting tree branches up, oh, I don't know, 10 feet, 12 feet, and cut down some smaller stuff. I brought the chainsaw. I've got my reciprocating saw. I don't know. I think in the shed I maybe have my pole saw. I thought we'd do more of that kind of work. There's still a lot of brush, but my plan was to bring a little trailer up. Actually, the one that's over at the rental house right now. Bring it up with an ATV or side-by-side or tractor or something and haul all this brush up here. Put it on the burn pile. Or maybe I'll bring my chipper and we'll chip it. But either way, but I think we can go ahead and spend a couple hours just clearing some brush and opening it up a little bit, and I'll feel good about that. Feel like I accomplished something on this trip. I hate coming up here and not doing anything, so let's do that. I couldn't help myself. The weather is perfect for burning, and I've got all this stuff in this area. It needs to be cleaned up. Don't really have to worry about setting the forest on fire, so I went ahead and started a fire. It's 4 o'clock and it's getting dark, and I'm wrapping up for the day. See my fire? See my sparks going up in the air? No fear, nothing's going to catch fire. Anyway, we cleaned up quite a bit. There was some kind of tree thing that was long since dead. It was one of the things that had multiple trunks coming out of it, and they're all in the burn pile now. There's another one just over there a little ways. I'm not going to get to it this trip, doesn't look like. But I cleaned up most of the branches that I'd cut from the previous trips, plus the ones I'd cut today. So still got some work to do, but probably this is all we're going to get done on this trip because I need to leave tomorrow relatively early. The Jackery's at 74%, and you can see the output is about 72 watts. The reason for that is because I've got one of my Ryobis on the charger in there, which I did most of the time when I was out working too. That and one light bulb were on. Anyway, let's bring that up to 100%. We'll fire up the generator. Should take an hour or less. And then once it's charged up, we can shut it off and lock up the shop for the night. We don't need to come back out again. As you could see, at least I hope you could see, the input was about, well, under 500 watts. So what we're learning is the higher the charge of the Jackery, the less input voltage is coming into it, the less amps coming into it. Amps? Watts? Watts? I don't know. Anyway, so my generator only will put out about 1600 watts at full chooch. So we don't want to let it get down too far. Yesterday we were down to about 25%, and the input voltage then was, I mean, we were looking at about 700, 750 watts. So that's well within the margin of error there. Last trip or the trip before that, I had it down around 14% or maybe less, and it was trying to take 1500 watts, and that on top of what was plugged in the cabin, it was not a happy camper. So I think we've got this figured out now. So that's it. Let's wrap up for tonight. How's that look? It's a lot cleaner than it was, right? I think there's a before video earlier in this. So we got a lot of branches cleaned up. Didn't get to all of them. It got dark on me, so I didn't get everything burned. There's still some stuff over there. You can see the fire down there. It's burned down. I put water on it this morning. Make sure it doesn't take off after we leave. So that's it. Let's hit the road. Truck is all loaded up, ready to go. Cabin shut down, everything's locked up, put away. The Jackery this morning, just now, was down to 1%. Yeah, my bad. Anyway, this is the first time I'm using the 12-volt charger, and right now I've got it hooked up to my truck. 1% is not a good number. That can't possibly be good for the battery. It didn't shut itself off though, which surprises me. So maybe the 1% is 1% of energy it's willing to expend, and maybe it protects the battery on its own. I don't know. Anyway, it's plugged into the 12-volt. We'll see how that goes. See what it is by the time we get home. We've got, well, it's about a 3-hour drive, but there's going to be lots of stop looking for Hot Wheels along the way. Made it home. It's about 2 o'clock Friday afternoon. Let's take a look at the Jackery and see how much it charged up. It was plugged in since about 9:30 this morning. So this is the slowest method possible of charging, is with the 12 volt like this. It brought it up to 21%. That's not bad. That's actually better than I thought. Seeing as how it was 1% when we left. All right, I'm going to take it in the house, plug it in, bring it up to 100% so it's ready to go next time. Here is something worth noting. When I unplugged it, this plug was pretty warm to the touch, and the little tip there was too hot to touch. So that thing is drawing a lot of amps through that 12 volt system, which means you need a pretty robust charging port to handle that, to not blow a fuse. This Power Stroke's got a couple different places you could plug in. I plugged in the one that was kind of a dedicated port just for that. So it'd be interesting to see if I plugged into the other one how it would handle it. Ideally, you don't want to charge this way.
Hey besties! So I have a headlight out. Luckily Karina told me yesterday. My mom knew the other day and didn't tell me. She wanted me to get pulled over. So I'm missing a headlight. Well, it's not missing, it's dead. So Daddy's gonna try to fix it for me. And I'm bringing back my parents' vacuum. So.
That pretty much sums it up. A father's work is never done. We're going to see if we can figure out which headlight bulb and see if we can get it fixed. It's true. One of these things is not like the other. So that's the working one. And that's the one that doesn't. So let's see if we can get that out. Oh yeah, it looks to be pretty easy. Okay, there's the bulb out, but I have no clue how the thing works. Is this... Oh, it must unplug from right there. Let me work on that. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the pigtail comes with it. We're just going to go buy a new one and then we'll figure it out when we go to put it in. Well, we went to O'Reilly's, and the only bulb they had looked like it had already been opened, and I wanted one that hadn't been opened. When I saw how much they were, why didn't you guys tell me this bulb was over $100? Jesus. So by the looks of it, it doesn't come with any wiring, and the other one didn't have that, like blocking my own light there. So somehow we got to figure out how to pry the little connector off the end of it and put it on the next one. So I'm going to work on that using my pocket knife, see what that gets us. And the plot thickens. So I try and match up the new bulb I bought for $100, and while the glass part looked the same, the mounting was completely different. I'm like, uh-oh. So daughter and I, we jumped back in the truck, we rushed back down to the auto parts store, and I took this part, which I took out of the car, with me. And I couldn't see how this here would come apart in any way. And it really doesn't. It's these 4 plugs, and I took it in there, and he said, oh, did I sell you the wrong bulb? And I said, nah, I don't think it's you. I don't know what's going on. So I put that up on the counter, and he goes, oh, that's an aftermarket HID assembly. He said that your car didn't originally come with that. It came with a regular bulb. I'm like, oh. So anyway, he did upsell me. We got this 2-pack of H11s, which are LEDs, which are supposed to be brighter than what was originally in it. So we're getting ready to try that. I do believe this is the original plug here, and that's what will plug into it. Now I just got to see if it plugs into the car like it's supposed to, if the bulb does. But anyway, what I discovered was this whole thing here. So basically the original plug for the car plugged into all this, and this little box did its magic and whatever, and that's what made that light work. So anyway, now we're going to try and put at least one of these in tonight, and maybe both, but let's see if we can get one in. All right, we have partial success. We have the headlight working. And that's the old style, and this is the new LED. Our problem, though, is this clip here isn't locking into place. I've got to figure out why, or come up with a solution to fix it. Okay, low tech. I ended up just using electrical tape to hold the 2 pieces together because I couldn't get a positive connection here, and my daughter really wants to use her car tonight. I get that. That's fine.
And the electrical tape was my idea.
And the electrical tape was her idea.
Well, first it was
tape. I was actually going to do something fancy with zip ties, and I may later, although I may not need to. It probably would stay together mostly, but just I don't want it vibrating apart. Anyway, we're not going to replace the other side tonight because my thought was she's going to be out in the dark, and I'd hate for her to lose both headlights if this one fails to work. So we know this one will work for a while longer. Anyway, hopefully. So anyway, we're calling this a fix for now. And then we've still got the other bulb over here. And I might read through the instructions and maybe there's something I missed. So anyway, that's it.
Hey besties, so Dad's work is never done. Now he's trying to put on my new steering wheel cover that I got. And it's, if you know anything about steering wheel covers, they're hard, always. But he's a trooper, and we're almost hopefully getting there. Guy's gonna lose feeling in his fingers after this. It does fit. Yay!
That's pretty close.
Another win! You got 2 wins in your book tonight.
All right, I'll call it good.
Yay, thank you!
You're welcome. It's Saturday, a little after 4 p.m., and the day kind of got away from me. Not really. My wife and I took a drive up in the mountains to check a snow park. But that being said, I wanted to get my truck and snowmobile ready for a ride tomorrow, and I haven't done anything yet. So, well, that's not true. I just seconds ago put the snow park permit in the window. But we need to do a few other things. I was hoping to get the Bravo unloaded from this truck, but we'll save that. But I do need the ramp out of this truck because that's what I need to get the snowmobile out of that truck. The snowmobile there needs to be gassed up. Need to check the oil and need to put all my snowmobile gear in there. And all my tools are in this truck. I need to bring them back into this truck. And then I think that's about it. So let's get started with things. It's 4:45 and I think we're ready. Snowmobile's gassed up. When I first started filling the tank of the snowmobile up, I realized I was putting some skunky gas in it. It was actually gas I drained out of the KLR in the fall. So I didn't want to do that. So I put some good gas in the snowmobile, and then I took the skunky gas and put it in the F-250. That way I won't have to fuel up in the morning. Anyway, all the snowmobile gear's in there, my tools in there. I think I've got everything I need. Ramps on there. So I think we're ready to ride. Move the white truck out of the way so I can just make a quick getaway in the morning. So I think that's it. Let's wrap this video up. And that's a wrap on this week's Procrastination Garage. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Yeah, not a real exciting one. We got some brush work done down at the cabin. I mean, it's exciting to me, maybe not to you guys. And then did a little work on my daughter's car, not on purpose, but because it needed it last minute. Remember, the number one goal of Procrastination Garage is to keep me motivated, to keep me working down in the shop, out in the yard, up in the cabin, or just up in the hills playing, which is what we're getting ready to do tomorrow. That'll be next week's video. So down in the comments, please tell me about the projects you're working on, or tell me about the things you're procrastinating about. And remember, my name is Matt. This is Procrastination Garage, and we'll see you next week. Thanks.